Okay, so this is kind of an interesting video. I actually thought I made this video, but apparently I hadn't. This is my Galaxy Tab S7 FE here versus my Galaxy Tab S7 that you see there with the fireplace in there. So battle video here. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, starting off with the price breakdown here, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE is going to run you $530 for the Wi-Fi version. And you all, if you've been watching the channel, you already know how I feel about that price. But as of the shooting of this video, you can actually get it at a discounted price of $470 on Amazon, which is, you know, let's say it's better than $530. On the other hand, the Galaxy Tab S7 there is going to run you $650. I wasn't able to find any discounted price as of now, but I'm sure if you keep looking, you'll be able to find it, because I know quite a few, you know, stores are kind of running these discounts up and down. Every now and then they would drop like a deal, and then after that they will close that back up. So if you're interested in the Tab S7, just make sure that you do your own share of research on the internet, especially during the holidays. Even with Black Friday coming up here, you know, you might be able to find something good. But anyway, let me stop rambling here and just jump on design here. So as far as design goes, they both will look very much alike. The Galaxy Tab S7 FE here will seem more like the, you know, jumbo version of the Galaxy Tab S7, except it's slightly less premium to the feel. It's a slightly less premium tablet compared to the Galaxy Tab S7, not only to the look, but also at the touch. Now, even though they're very similar on so many points, they're also very, very different on a lot of other points, including, of course, you know, performance. These two tablets actually play in two completely separate categories. Now, sticking to just physical features here, they both offer storage expansion via the micro SD card slot, of course, and both have a USB Type-C port that supports video out, which is always crucial for productivity. I was actually happy to see that on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. Now, the speakers on either one of these tablets are tuned by AKG, and on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, you have a dual setup for those two speakers, whereas the regular Galaxy Tab S7 has a quad setup, so you are looking at 4 speakers, and sound quality is great on either one of these two, but just louder on the Galaxy Tab S7. One of the physical things that they don't share is biometrics, right? And I'm talking specifically in terms of fingerprint scanner. On the Galaxy Tab S7 FE here, you don't have one, but on the Galaxy Tab S7, the fingerprint sensor is embedded in the power button. So on the FE, the power button is just the power button, just a regular button. Now let's talk cameras real quick. The camera modules may look alike at first glance, as you can see here, but they are also very, very different. You see that the Galaxy Tab S7 FE there is actually only pushing one lens, and it's an 8 megapixel that can do 4K videos. Then you will have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Whereas the camera module on the Galaxy Tab S7, the regular Galaxy Tab S7 is actually housing 2 cameras or 2 lenses. You have a 13 megapixel and a 5 megapixel ultra wide lens on that camera module, and it can record 4K videos. On the front-facing camera, you will find an 8 megapixel. So obviously you get better cameras with the regular Galaxy Tab S7. And going back to the camera module, you will also notice that the S Pen pad has the same finish as the overall back of the tablet here on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, whereas on the Galaxy Tab S7 or the regular Tab S7, it has more of a premium glossy finish here, so it's a kind of a black glossy finish for that S Pen pad. And speaking of S Pen here, they're both obviously compatible with the Samsung S Pen, and on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, you will have it running the standard S Pen functions a stylus would. So taking down also, you know, jotting down notes, drawing, cropping, all that good stuff, all the standard stuff that the Samsung S Pen offer, you will have that available on the S Pen that you will find on the FE. Now on the Tab S7, you will also have an S Pen that supports all of those same standard functions, but also a ton of additional premium features only available on the flagship lineup of things, right? So just like you would have access to those same features you have on the Galaxy Note, which is the flagship phone, right? And by the way, I'm certainly hoping that you are enjoying the content so far. And if you are, I truly appreciate that. Please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel. And again, I truly appreciate that. Anyway, so when it comes down to just overall user experience of the S Pen on either one of these tablets, they're pretty much the same, except on the Galaxy Tab S7, you're gonna have a bunch more features. Now, I wanna go ahead and talk performance between the two, but before we do so, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Before we do so, let's go ahead and jump on display. They both share the same type of display, but we gotta stop here and say they're not really the same types of display, right? In terms of user experience, overall user experience. As I mentioned earlier, the Galaxy Tab S7 FE is a pretty large tablet, right? So you're looking at a 12.4 inches TFT display with a resolution of 2560 by 1600. The Galaxy Tab S7 is pushing an 11 inches TFT display as well, with that, that same resolution of 2560 by 1600. So you might think, same type of display, same resolution, what's the big deal, right? Should be pretty much the same user experience, except the other one is large. But nah, that's not how that works. That's like comparing two cars. Let's say you have two cars, each has 1,000 horsepower, except one of them weighs 2,000 pounds less than the other car, right? If they were racing, you would know that the lighter car is likely to win. But let me add some details here. You have the same resolution, but a smaller display in that Galaxy Tab S7, bringing the PPI at up to 274. That's the density, as opposed to only 243 in terms of PPI density on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. And of course, making image quality much sharper on the regular Galaxy Tab S7 when compared to the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. And on top of that, the Tab S7 is pushing a high refresh rate at 120 Hertz. So everything is super smooth here when compared to 60 Hertz, half the refresh rate level on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. And that, of course, is going to offer you an overall better user experience. At least in my case, that's how I feel personally about it, and also based off of those specs. Now let's talk performance. The Galaxy Tab S7 FE Wi-Fi is loaded with a Snapdragon 775, and it's coupled with 4 gigs of RAM. And you also have 64 gigs of base internal storage. Now the Tab S7, on the other hand, is boasting a Snapdragon 865 Plus. And that one is coupled with 6 gigs of RAM, and the base storage here is 128 gigs. These are things that you got to keep in mind if you are shopping for either one of these two. And as you can see, based off of those specs already, and I can tell you, based off those specs already, it is also reflected on the actual performance, on real life performance of these two tablets. The Galaxy Tab S7 FE is a mid-range tablet. Based off the specs that I just went over, you can tell it's a mid-range tablet. The Tab S7, the regular Tab S7, is a pro tablet, a productivity tablet. It's actually made for productivity. But don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that the Tab S7 FE is not good. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty snappy and can do quite a few things, and it can do those things very well, I might add. So light, moderate, or even some heavy tasks are handled pretty well on here. The Galaxy Tab S7, on the other hand, as I highlighted, is a flagship tablet. So flagship specs, just like I went over already, it can do everything the Galaxy Tab S7 FE can do. But for all of your light, everyday tasks, medium or moderate task type of thing, you won't notice a difference between the two. But as you get to heavier tasks and project, that's when you start noticing that very palpable difference. You will feel the true power of the Galaxy Tab S7. So it's an overall superior tablet when it comes down to performance. That's just the basic and simple way to put it now. Both tablets, or each tablet, is running Android 11 with One UI 3.1 and pretty fluid. Again, as I mentioned, when you go to heavy stuff, the Galaxy Tab S7 would be your guy, and things are just smoother on the Tab S7. They also both support Samsung DeX. Of course, productivity, I mentioned earlier, the Galaxy Tab S7 is a productivity tablet, so you will be able to boost your productivity using Samsung DeX. So you'd have Samsung DeX on the Tab S7 FE, Samsung DeX on the Galaxy Tab S7. They both work pretty well, but as you go really heavy, the Tab S7 is going to handle things better than the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. You're also going to be able to, do some gaming, light, medium, heavy gaming. You'll be able to do that. Also handled pretty well on the Tab S7 when compared to the Tab S7 FE, which is just a mid-range tablet. By the way, this is more of a comparison of a mid-range tablet to a pro tablet. That's really what it is. Now, in terms of battery, the Galaxy Tab S7 battery will also last longer than that of the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, despite the fact that it has a larger battery. So the FE has a larger battery, but Samsung advertises 10 hours, whereas the Galaxy Tab S7 is actually advertised for 14 hours. So you have 14 hours, 8,000 milliamp, I believe, 8,000 milliamp on Galaxy Tab S7, up to 14 hours, and you have 10,090 milliamp on the Tab S7 FE, which is actually the same as the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, but you only get 10 to about 11 hours, I believe, so slightly better battery. Again, pro tablet versus mid-range tablet. So why would you even hesitate, right? This is just my way of saying, The Tab S7 FE, I've said this since the beginning, is just not priced right, which is the reason why Samsung is cutting down prices, is playing with prices right now. They cut it down to $480 at one point. I think at one point it was like $460, because just people are just saying, why would I buy that when I could just go buy, you know, Galaxy Tab S7, at least in the US. I know in some other regions, you know, they don't have much choices. I know in India, for example, at one point they were out of the Galaxy Tab S7 and just, I guess, kind of forcing people to go buy the Tab S7 FE. You know, people didn't have choices. I used to go through comments, lots of people from India saying, hey, what should I do? You know, the only thing that we have here is the Tab S7 FE, no Tab S7. And some other places where they have the Tab S7, the price is just so freaking high, you know, that they don't have a choice but to go for the Tab S7 FE. But anyway, that was kind of a, I ranted there for a second. Anyway, getting back to this battle here, you know, with everything that I've said, there are people who just long for a large display, or who would take as much real estate, you know, as much screen real estate as they can, which is understandable. I know a lot of artists, you know, would prefer to go with a larger tablet, even if it's in mid-range, rather than going for a smaller tablet that's more powerful, you know, with, you know, better specs and things like that. So for those people, obviously the Galaxy Tab S7 FE would be the way to go. But for the rest of the people out there, the rest of the population, if you are able to add a little bit of cash and go for the Galaxy Tab S7, I'd say go for it. You know, you pretty much gain on everything except for screen size, right? So performance, better specs, you know, flagship features, a much better Samsung S Pen, better on so many levels, except two things, right? The first thing would be, like I said, the screen, you know, it's smaller than the Tab S7 FE. And the second thing is that the Tab S7 FE is almost a year newer. So the software support is going to last a year longer than what you have on the Galaxy Tab S7. But still, that's not really, it shouldn't be a big deal really. But anyway, that's just my take. You let me know what you think, right? Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about this. Also, if you want to watch the full comprehensive review of either one of these tablets, make sure to check out my other videos. I've made quite a few videos on the Galaxy Tab S7, and I've also made a bunch on the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. Make sure to check those out. Let me know what your questions in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And by the way, just in case you forgot, please make sure that you are subscribed, and also make sure to like, share the video. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video, and up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.